mistaken about me, except that my insides were flipping right up into my throat. I was caught completely off guard. Like my former neighbor, this woman had long legs, a tanned complexion, and dark, short-cropped hair. My suppressed longings burbled to the surface. This woman seemed so self-assured, so within herself. I managed to find my voice. "Sorry," I said. "I don't know." I pointed to the stack of books. "What are you reading?" "I've decided to revisit some of my favorites," she said. "Virginia Woolf, Carson McCullers, Stephen Spender. Here, have a look." She handed me a hardcover copy of The Common Reader. "Mind if I join you?" She didn't wait for an answer, and as I thumbed through the book, she moved to sit beside me at my table. She introduced herself as Wanda, from Winnipeg, a social worker who had come to Edmonton to work in the inner city. She had driven in just the week before and rented an apartment a few blocks from the cafe. The moving van was due to arrive the next day. Till then, she was sleeping on the floor. It was all I could do not to invite her home for the night. Dan would have been pleased enough. He was always encouraging me to make new friends, and he worked for a multinational corporation where he was known for rescuing strays, especially at Christmas and other holidays. We often put up house-hunting transfers from out of town, and had spent many a weekend driving guests out for the obligatory tour of the mountains. But already in these few moments, something inside of me had shifted, and even the idea of inviting Wanda to spend the night in my conjugal home felt like a betrayal of my wedding vows. Wanda's parting touch, a lingered squeeze of the shoulder, sent daggers of desire to the core of my being. That night I tossed and turned, for once not out of anxiety, but desire. In the morning, while Dan showered and got ready for work, I lay in bed pretending to be asleep, hotly reliving that single, unnerving feel of Wanda's fingers. The next day, she was at the same cafe at the same table. "I knew you'd be back," she said. From there, things moved swiftly. A mere 15 days after that first encounter, Dan went out of town, and I spent an entire blissful weekend in Wanda's apartment. One of those weekends in which night extends into morning, into afternoon, into evening, into night, and into morning again. What a middle-aged innocent I'd been. I went to Wanda's in hot but apprehensive anticipation, yet everything came so naturally that I marveled at having drifted so long in such ignorance. Until then, I had never had an orgasm that wasn't self-administered, something else I've never admitted to Wanda. But that weekend, I gushed like a pressurized fire hydrant, soaking Wanda's fist and arm and half the bed. "I tried calling you all weekend," said Dan on his return. "Where were you?" I started in with my rehearsed excuse that I had gone to visit my mother in the country and that my mother's phone was out of order. But my newfound bliss gave me courage, and I interrupted my own lie midstream and confessed. I braced for his admonitions. His reaction was unexpected. "You mean you've been getting it on with another woman? Wow, I didn't think you had it in you." He drew me close, poking his tongue in my ear. "Our sex life could use some spicing up. This may be just what the doctor ordered." I pulled away from his all-too-familiar touch and wiped my soggy ear. I ran to the phone, imagining a Wanda eager to rush in and rescue me. No answer. Who was I kidding, anyway? There had been no promises, no words of love, just straightforward, pure lust. Nevertheless, I persisted, dialing and redialing until finally reaching her later that night. Was there a note of hesitation in her invitation to stay? Perhaps the seeds of our unraveling were present in that moment. The following few months were a muddled blur of insecurity, of self-loathing, of slamming of doors, of crying on my old friend Trisha's shoulder, mixed with an almost unbearable desire for Wanda whenever we were apart for more than a day. When I